Duplicate.
Yeah, can you start cursing now? Shit, fuck, shit, fuck.
Rather show me.
White cat is just a random cat on the internet, and black, orange. It's Ali, her cat.
My cat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
See if the street racers happen.
Yeah.
Love those street racers.
Cat pictures are for George.
Oh, shoot. care what you say, ramen is a food group.
That's our new intro.
So, oh my god, this thing, I could have sworn that I had all this planned, and then I get here and I'm like, I need to create a new screen. I need to get all of these pictures set up. I need to do this. And I was totally not ready for this. So everybody, I apologize. And I would like to remind everybody that ramen is a legitimate food group. Now, with that, I want to say hi. How you doing? My name is Derek and I am the owner, creator, and head silicone slinger here at AmaVidi, where we make silicone toys for adults. All right. So I have my water and yeah, get ready for this. And I got to click the things and make it do all the stuff. Okay. So we have the chat up and we have George over on the keyboards and she is running the chat. Man, it is hot here. And I think it's like, oh, it's only 85 degrees, which is actually fairly cool for July in Oklahoma. But yeah, so I'm over here sweating like crazy and trying to get myself situated for the show tonight. But we've got Selena and Gregor. We got two folks from Fab Toys, and they'll be joining me here in just a few minutes. And again, I apologize for running late. But before we get to Selena and Gregor, I want to remind everybody that we are sponsored by no one. We are not sponsored. So if there are any products or anything else that we speak about, we are talking about them because we like them or that we use them or we have comments about them. Not because anybody's paying us anything, but because we have experience with them. And yeah. Okay, so got to get the advertising out of the way and doing all the things because I have a website. AmaVidi.com. I have a second website, IMakeSexToys.com, where you can find out all little tidbits about how we make all the things that we make. Patreon.com/AmaVidi, where you can support us. One of the things, actually, I want to show you something. This is something I've been working on. Do I have the thingy up? I have my thingy up. This is something I've been working on, and I am kind of proud of it. This is a product description generator that I have been working on, and it's available to all of my patrons. But this is kind of cool. So over here, one of the worst things, I am horrible at writing product descriptions. So one of the things that ChatGPT is good at is writing product descriptions. So I kind of made a thing to use ChatGPT to write product descriptions for me, and this is kind of it. But here's what's cool about it. Is I have this list over here. So I've got like Oscar Wilde and Ernest Hemingway and Chuck Palahniuk and H.P. Lovecraft and David Sedaris and Terry Pratchett and even Elmer Fudd over here and Shakespeare. Okay, I got all these authors. And then over here, I've got different prompts. So I have like 9 different prompt options here. And what it does is if you come over here to the output page, is you can select a different author and you can select a different prompt. And you can tell it to run it against the ChatGPT API. And then what it'll do is, okay, yes, run it against the API. And it takes about 5 or 10 seconds. And when it's done, it will create a product description for you based off of the data that you give it over here. So here, I'll show you. This is my crappy version of a product description. Okay, this is the kind of product description I can write. A dildo made from platinum pure silicone. It's an original design, hand poured, 100% body safe. Color combination is called Mardi Gras using gold, green, and purple. Customer can choose from 6 different designs and 4 different firmness options. Each piece is handmade with unique marbling patterns, and the customer can watch their adult toy being made as it is, live streamed on YouTube. That's my kind of product description. Okay, that's what I can write. Now then, what? Check this out. Welcome to the fantastical world of AmaVidi, where we are creators of things that go bump in the night, artisans of pleasure that will ignite your imagination. I mean, right there, we're already 10 times better than anything I could write. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but, you know, let's try Elmer Fudd. I love what I love it when it does Elmer Fudd. Let's see what it comes up with. Anyway, you can choose any author you want, but let's see. Come on. Welcome to Amavidi. We awful it, and it's doing it too because it's like it's got the way that Elmer Fudd talks. Anyway, I'm having fun with this. I'm having a blast with it. And if you come back here, you can actually put up to 99 different authors in here. So if you wanted to add, I don't know, let's do Tweety Bird. Let's do Tweety Bird. Let's add Tweety Bird to the list. Where's my drop down list? There it is. Tweety Bird. And it'll automatically reload and it'll rewrite it as Tweety Bird. What is... Oh God, what does it say? Let me tell you all about this super duper cool product from Amavidi. It's called Metropole and it's simply tweet-tastic. Oh my God. Okay. All right, I'm having too much fun here. Oops, I need to get back to what we're talking about. Yosh wants the Crypt Keeper. Oh God, that would be funny. Anyway, if you're a patron, you would have access to this, and I'm up to version 0.2.3. And I've been actually just about every couple of days or so, I've been going back and making things, and making updates to it. So yeah. Anyway, it's there. I keep throwing it up on the Discord and things like that, but which is another thing you get access to if you're a patron. Anyway, I digress. Now, with that, we are continuing our trip around the world. Last week we had Ryan from Gorilla Machine, who was in Portugal. Tonight we've got Gregor and Selena from Fab Toys, and they are in Croatia. So, yeah, I think I've got a button here that does the thing, and that's not the button. There's the button. We have Gregor and Selena. Okay, and then there's a cat. Okay, which one of you is Gregor and which one is Selena? That's Gregor. Selena on the right with the beard? Or who's?
Yeah. Always impersonating people.
All right, we got Selena on the left, Gregor on the right, and who is the cat?
The cat is one of his cats. She's called Chupka, Fluffy in English. Let's call her Fluffy. And as you can see, she made a timely appearance, of course.
Timely? Speaking of timely, it's what, 2 a.m. where you are? 2:30 in the morning?
Yes. Yeah, 2:30 almost. Wow, okay.
Oh my God.
It feels like 9 afternoon.
Oh, jeez. Well, you all guys are troopers. I definitely appreciate you all just hanging in there with me and doing this. So thank you so much. And this is my first time getting to meet Selena. Gregor and I have been chatting for a couple of years now through Twitter and all the things. And we've worked on a couple of different projects together, and that has been awesome. But no, this is my first time to get to meet Selena, and this has been wonderful. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having us. You were one of the first, I think, toy makers that we started following even before we officially launched Fab Toys. And I think that we really learned a lot from your videos. So now to be here as makers, that's like a huge deal. I consider you the OG of indie silicone.
No. Oh my God. I can't imagine myself being an OG anything. So thank you. I do appreciate that. It's not to diminish what you're saying in any way, but it's hard for me to think of myself in that way. But tell me about Fab Toys. Where did it come from? How did it start? What was it that got you started?
What was it that got us started? I think curiosity, that would kind of sum it up maybe the most, and just kind of wanting to... Well, we actually met while we were working at the same place, and the idea to make toys was mine originally, but I had no idea how to actually do that, when it came to the technical stuff. And because Gregor is a bit more tech savvy and nerdy in that sense than me, and he has 13 3D printers and things like that, he kind of had a head start when it came to technical stuff, so it kind of just built up from there. And we got the ball rolling, pretty quickly.
And how does the cat figure into all of this?
The cat, well, all of the cats, they sometimes run into the silicone room, and they shouldn't.
They're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Sometimes they sit in front and just meowing and screaming at me, come out, while I'm mixing, pouring, and doing Dexter stuff there.
But we are doing this for the cat. We are taking this very seriously because of the cat.
Yeah, I mean, making sure the cats get fed is, part of it is, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, we are taking a page from your book when it comes to that.
Yeah. So you guys got started, I think, within the last year and a half. Is that about right? Do you have a timeline?
December of 2002, so it's barely been 6 months now.
Okay.
Yeah. We missed the whole COVID period and all of that, so we came in the aftermath of all of that.
Right. And now, being in Europe, you guys have a little bit different world. And I think you're on the eastern side of Europe. So you're kind of in a little bit different world than Ryan was over in Portugal. Tell me a little bit about what it's like working and being a maker in Europe versus kind of what you kind of see the rest of the world dealing with.
You got to take this one?
Well, pretty much it comes to how much do you spend for your raw material, and how is it easy accessible or not. For example, you have that website with the mica powders, you have filter with everything. Well, we need to dig a few days to find a distributor for the Europe to buy some safe mica powders. So, and for the silicone, of course, there's a big difference in the prices.
Yeah, earlier you and I were just talking about pricing, and just on Smooth On, we were, I think it was about 50% difference. I think you guys
Almost,
were about 50% higher.
It's around 320 euros here for the gallon, plus shipping. Shipping is usually around 40-50 euros. Does not depend on the weight.
Wasn't it even more? Wasn't it 70 one time when we ordered?
It was 50 and something for the kit, for the small size.
I thought that it was
now
more.
It's 42.3 euros for the kit, for the 900 grams. I think it's pinned.
Yeah.
On the Smooth On page. So
and
you're lucky. Just have to say, everybody on that side of the world around are pretty much lucky for having Smooth On made there.
Yeah, and in any case, I think you have a much larger selection of anything, silicone, plastic cups, any sort of, additional material that you will want to use.
Yeah.
I think the choice is much broader than here, or you have to really dig deep to get to something. And it's also a problem that maybe companies, they don't want to send you 2 liters of silicone. They want to send you 25
or 200.
Yeah. So, you really have to get the ball rolling before you can achieve that, because it's a lot of money. So we're kind of like trying to figure all of that out. And I would also like to add the other dimension of that is figuring out the local audience, let's say, or how things function locally. Like, is there even a scene here, a group, subgroup of people who are interested in our product? Or should we, exclusively look on the outside? And I mean, not even other European countries, but maybe the US, because I think the majority of, really big collectors are from the US. So that's another factor we have to take into consideration, and how those people like to shop, especially when it comes to, paying for shipping and additional charges like customs, which can also be a bit tricky.
Yeah. I think we are a little bit spoiled here in the U.S. Because the costs are so low. I feel bad for you guys. I mean, I don't use Smooth On products. I use Platsil, and I feel like I spend. Well, I know that I spend. Let's see. I think I was looking at it earlier. Smooth On 1 gallon was $235, $250 roughly, and I'm spending $325 roughly for my silicone. So I'm paying a premium, usually about 30%. But you guys are just taking it so hard on costs. It's got to be rough.
Yeah, it adds up pretty quickly, and there's really no way to cut corners right now. You really, you don't have a place to save your money on anything.
Yeah, interesting thing. We are buying Smooth On from the Italy because the distributor here in Croatia charges more than the guys in the Italy. Yeah,
wow. And I think that they were thinking we are a joke, because that Croatian company was the first company that we reached out to, because they are distributors for Smooth On. And I think, they just didn't take us seriously because they are in construction working, and we approached them and we wrote them a pretty serious email about how we want to make toys for adults, and I don't think that they had a lot of queries like that over the years. So doing business with them was kind of really unprofessional on their part, but okay, never mind. We found someone better in the end, eventually.
Yeah, and closer in kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you think that the Croatia just changed currency at the beginning of the year, I think. Do you think that had any impact?
On prices, for sure.
Yeah.
And on people's behavior, I don't really know, because I think Croatians as people are pretty conservative, and we do have a small BDSM community, but even for them, they are really, I think that in the online space, especially in the silicone collectors community, silicone safety, body safety is a really big deal, and people here are really not educated about that, and they would rather, buy 5 toys from AliExpress than buy 1 toy from us and know that it is made of certified silicone. They just don't see, why would they do that when they can have 5 toys for less money. So that's the problem that we are dealing with here. And it's kind of hard to justify why our products cost, how much they do. But prices have really skyrocketed, I think in
general.
Every sector, yes, everything is expensive. Yeah. Food is expensive.
Life is expensive. Air is expensive.
Yeah.
Everything.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah. That kind of brings up an interesting question: is how do you build a brand around safety and quality and all of those things, and when you could be competing against AliExpress and those things, is how do you build a brand? And I'm not sure if I can phrase my question right. It was kind of a weird little question that kind of built in my head, is that you're not competing against AliExpress. You are, but you aren't. And how do you separate yourself from that category?
Well, I think it's the same as 3D printing, because most of the people doesn't know what's 3D printing, and in this side doesn't know what's indie silicone maker or indie silicone toy. So I think it's basically you have to educate your buyers, then sell to them.
Yeah, we on our Instagram we mainly do educational posts. I mean, we really try to kind of say the same things over and over again, but package them a little bit differently, because I think that especially nowadays with people getting bombarded with stuff all the time, you just you can't say the same thing too many times. So we are really trying to make like an educational space for everybody that comes visit our profile, and for them to take silicone safety seriously, because we wouldn't risk making toys using cheap material, because that would be more profitable for us, because we don't want to risk your health and your pleasure ultimately. So we're really trying to, this is one thing that we won't kind of compromise on ever. So we're just kind of trying to say that, you should appreciate this.
Interesting. Now, what is Fab Toys? How would you describe it? What if you had to kind of like encapsulate what Fab Toys is? What's the idea behind it?
The idea? Well, the idea is, I think that we kind of like repeat that through many things that we kind of write. The main idea is to have fun, which when you say it like that, it may sound really shallow, but I think it's kind of like, don't try to put everything inside a box. Try to think a little bigger and try to maybe find something new for yourself that you didn't experience before. We wanted to kind of have a little bit of like a place to allow curiosity, maybe. That's really important.
I'm going to throw something up on the screen here just because it was something that you sent me. And we were talking about having fun. We were talking about having fun, and this is part of it. Just
this is gold.
But I think that speaks to kind of what you're doing a little bit, is getting out there and coming at it a little bit differently, and that's something that here at Amavidi and George and I and what we're trying to do is come at things a little bit differently. And nobody else is doing a live stream every week, and it's why I make sextoys.com, and it's why I have done all the different things that I'm doing, is that it's trying to reach out, be educational, and I think George said it in the chat, is we're trying to teach people about silicone and toys and why we do the things that we do, and we're having fun with it, and we're trying to be lighthearted about it, because let's face it, what we're doing is not saving the world, but it's important. and we want to make sure that people
You're even more unique, I think, in this world because you are educating the people, the, let's say, customers, but you're also educating the makers, which I think really speaks volumes about you. And I mean, I said it in the beginning, we really owe a lot of our knowledge and willingness to experiment to your content and your videos and your posts. I think I found your Instagram randomly one day and it all kind of started from there.
Yeah, and after that I found those quickies, short videos, and I watched every one of it in a row and just started going
the
through
2-minute
your
quickies.
YouTube.
Yeah, I
and
love doing those. Those are really hard to do. Is to condense, that little bit of knowledge into 2 minutes. It's really hard to do. And I need.
Do you have a script written out, like what you're going to say, or do you just kind of wing it?
It's a little bit of both. I do script it out actually. It'll come to me as an idea, and then I'll outline it, and then I do actually have to script it. I tried outlining it and just having bullet points, and it just didn't work. And I ended up having to script it. So yeah, but it's kind of.
About it.
What'd you say?
And then I complain about it.
And then she complains about it. Yes, she does. But I need to figure out a way to get you guys, everybody, to quit saying such nice things about me, because it's going to start sounding like I'm paying you, and it's starting to bother me a little bit. But no, I appreciate it, and I'm not good at taking compliments, so I don't want to diminish it in any way, but because I totally appreciate it, and it's getting dusty in here, and I may have to do something about my eyes here. But let's get back to the topic at hand, which is you, and I want to make sure that we stay on topic. But let's see. No, there was something else, I think. Oh, who is this?
Oh, that's Plekita, or in your language, a spot.
Yeah, like Spotty. Yeah, that's the other cat, the number 2 of his cat.
Okay. Now I had to take a second to make sure that I got my the dustiness in here.
Dusty. Yeah. Okay.
No. Well, we were talking about materials, and we were talking about how difficult it is working in Europe, and I think that branding is important, and how you're approaching things, and I think that coming from this part of the world versus that one is we're coming at it from different directions. What else are you envious of from the rest of us?
In a silicone world, or in general? I like
you
to
can
make
answer that any way you want. It was kind of an open question.
You got Home Depot and similar stores
and Trader
everywhere.
Joe's.
Yeah, and Craigslist and everything. We got, if you're lucky, eBay, or I don't know, some hardware parts I cannot find in Europe at all. For example, if I want to make a new mount for camera tripod, that screw is American units, and there is no tool to make it here in Europe, so I have to ship it from China probably, because China has everything.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this one. What do we have here?
Those are minis, and the one on the right side is half of a mini, because you have to put enough really spray in it.
So we've got a flop. This is a flop?
Yeah, it's a half of a flop.
Yeah, a mini half of a flop.
Good.
This is our first run of minis, and we actually have an idea what to do with them, but we won't kind of reveal anything just yet about that. So you will have to follow us in the, throughout the summer to kind of see what it's about.
Gotcha. So these are sneak peeks a little bit.
Yeah, sneak peek for something bigger. The minis are leading up to something bigger, let's say.
And what do we have here?
Oh, those are some fallen comrades, I think.
Well, when you try to pour a A15 in a mini that has height of 35 millimeters, it's pretty much hard,
Yeah.
And especially here in summer when your pot life is in half or even less, shorter.
Yeah.
Bubbles in the mold.
Yep. Those look like the bases of plugs, so I'm guessing you basically had a neck that was so you got air trapped in there, temperature was higher, your viscosity, pot life, all the things were working against you.
Everything went south that day, don't worry.
But this one see,
those are the larger versions of two of our toys. The one on the left is T2 and the one on the right is T1. And I think the proportions between the smaller versions of these toys and the larger versions are really kind of out of whack, because the larger ones, especially for T2, kind of, it went out of control a bit. So we will see.
You'll have to pull those back out here in a minute
changes.
because I want to talk about this one. This one on the right. There's a little bit of Tesla in that, isn't there?
Yeah, the T stands for Tesla. So the inspiration was Tesla coil and basically Tesla's inventions, yeah. T1 and T2. When I was a kid, I loved Tesla and I wanted to be a Tesla, so I like electricity.
Yeah, I have a fascination with Tesla as well. I think we talked about him at one point in a conversation. So as I was sitting here, I was like, there it is. There's the Tesla and Tesla coils, and I'm seeing all of that in these.
Do you know that we are about 2.5-3 hours car drive from Smiljan, his
place of birth
town? Yeah.
Oh wow! No, I didn't.
Yeah, we are close.
That house is now a museum, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a museum. So I haven't been. Have you been?
No, unfortunately, no. Okay. I didn't drive. So.
That's a road trip that we have to make.
All right.
Yeah,
now show us
get the car and license.
Yeah. Show us the examples you had, because you were small down in the bottom corner there. Because there was a big difference between your small and your large. Okay. Yeah. I think there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, definitely. We made the small one when we were making like a run of really small toy models, because we wanted to have those also, but now it's just kind of like ridiculous a bit.
Yeah.
They are really girthy, as you can see.
But the small ones are perfect for the bullet vibe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let me find some out there.
And one of the things about designing toys is often a scale is hard when you're 3D modeling.
Yeah.
He is much better with measurement and with scaling than I am. I mean, like, he can picture things better in his mind. For me, it would work better to have, like, the object at hand, but that kind of wastes a lot of plastic and a lot of silicone. So sometimes I get surprised with how things turn out eventually, in terms of size. But I think we made everything work so far.
Yeah.
That we made.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything except one toy that we didn't publish it yet. We need to buy some extra EcoFlex to make a mold because the proportions of the head and the body, you just cannot pull it out from the mold. We are using, I think it's 820 for the mold making. 8, 20, somewhere there. So,
And are you using
the
block
first
molds
one that-
or glove molds?
We use shells, so
Okay.
plastic shell around it and silicone inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really bad time making my first mold. I tried a few times glove mold, and every time I trapped some bubbles in the first layer, and it just
yeah.
failed.
Yeah, I understand.
And then I found on ShopDad's wiki, I found a dark is it dark path? Monda. Her video with mesh mixers, so I made the first shell and it worked. Unbelievable, it worked.
Yeah.
And I think it was a tentacle.
Yeah, I think the first shell that you made was for the
Yeah,
tentacle.
her design.
Yeah, but now the problem that we often face is silicone dripping from the shell.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Most often from the base.
Yeah, and we fixed that in the last conversation with ShopDad.
Okay, yeah, right.
To seal everything up,
You said
just use
that-
a bit of fast silicone, and put it on all cracks and everything, and it works.
Yeah.
First I used a glue gun, but I was getting cure inhibitions a lot, so I don't know. There was no pattern.
Interesting. Because I use a hot glue gun all the time.
Yeah, well, same toy, same silicone, same mold, same everything, same glue stick. First time cure inhibition, second time nothing. But I think it's how much you let it to cool down. If the glue gun is still a bit hot, there's a cure inhibition.
Okay. Interesting.
Tesla, the band, Nikola Tesla. Yeah. I'm reading in the chat.
Yeah, it's distracting. It can be distracting. I have to let George do it because I can't keep up with all of it. There have been times where George has had things to do, and so I have to watch the chat and do the conversation, and I just can't keep up. But
Show them.
now there is this one. What's going on here? What do we?
That's that one that I need to get the EcoFlex for the
Okay.
mold.
Yeah.
This is a test one just to see will it work. The code name is Pegster. It's a
Okay.
pegging toy, and the base has your style. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I wanted
actually-
to make a first toy for the harness, so
Okay.
Yeah, it's harness compatible, and it's a slim toy definitely, but it has a decent shape still.
yeah.
And I actually have a standardized base that I use. So
Well,
I
this one was a combination of Fusion 360 and some of my first steps in Blender. So basically, the whole toy, whole body and the base was in Fusion, and the head was, well, some kind of modeled in Blender. I don't know. I just clicked on something and it worked.
Yeah, because I can see how basically
that
the
kind
entire
of
thing
happens
except for the
with
head would have been
Blender.
really easy to do in Fusion 360.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I like Fusion 360, but that's just me.
Also,
Yeah. Now, looks like, were these the minis? The 3D prints of
Yes.
the minis?
yeah, resin prints of the minis glued to the plate, and then later block mold was made.
Oh wow! So you did a block mold of all of those? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yesterday I was pulling the minis out of the block mold, and that was really, really fun. Some of them were really hard, like the plug was hard to pull out, but they're really, really cute because they're so tiny comparing to the other toys.
And they do plop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were minis molded around 300 grams, so it's a lot. Lot of
Yeah.
silicone for the small things.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're ever curious why George laughs at weird spots, it's because she's on a delay. She's listening to
Oh
it
yeah, she
live.
mentioned that.
Yeah. Yeah. She's so. Now I've got one here that I don't think you've released yet. It's the one that you might be partnering with somebody. It looks like they're on a gloved hand. Is that safe to show? Is that
Yeah,
safe to show?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's see.
It's safe.
Maybe you
could
can
go
tell
ahead.
people about it. Maybe you can tell people about this one. What do we
Yeah,
got?
those were masters, resin print masters, and just after ascending, they will be
Drool gags.
droll gags.
These will be drool
Yeah, please
gags.
take over.
Oh, thank you. These will be drool gags that we will be doing in collaboration with a guy from Croatia. So he's also not a local maker, but from the same country. He's making kinky leather stuff, and so he will be making these gags using. He will be making the leather parts and also the like non-leather version that we will keep in our shop. So we're really looking forward to that one because I don't know, how did we meet him? I think through Instagram. I
Yeah,
found
yeah.
him and then we started talking.
We
And
met in Zagreb
yes,
and went on a coffee and
Yeah.
well,
yeah,
It
we
just started.
kind of just, we made it happen. So that's really, really cool. I'm really happy about that. So we will see how that goes. Having basically the same product in two web shops from
Yeah.
two makers. I'm really curious to see how that will, influence sales, but also to see how, will people like it. Because this is kind of like stepping in the kinky and BDSM territory a little bit. It's not, it's not a toy like the rest that we are making.
yeah, there's some ideas to make O-ring gags also, but in some future.
Yeah. Can I show the other website? The website from
Yeah,
the person?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. He will
'Cause-
be really, really glad about that.
I think he's
Okay.
watching now.
Okay. Because I think you might be working with them on something like this, using this kind of leather and ring style.
Yes. This will be like a really simple, well, not harness, but
Yeah,
yeah.
A
The-
strap around
Yeah.
head.
The
Well,
idea is to make a
versions,
really
yeah.
simple strap so that the drool gag, the silicone part, can be interchangeable. For example, if you want a different color, or if something happens and you just want to kind of
Yeah. No, I love the idea of working with other makers, especially from other categories, especially being able to bring in leather workers, or I think you mentioned that you're using a non-leather material. Oh no, did we lose them? Oh no. Or is that me?
It's you.
Is it me?
Are you frozen?
Oh no.
It's frozen! Oh my god!
Uh-oh. Who lost who? I'm not sure who lost who.
You're still on, they're frozen.
I'm still here. Oh no!
Okay, are we back?
You're back.
Sorry, I forgot. Since here,
Oh no! Was it a Zoom thing? Was it? Did Zoom disconnect
No,
you?
I had a scheduled reboot.
Yay!
You're back. Okay, good. Well,
Sorry about this.
no, it's okay. It's not a show until something goes wrong. But,
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock here, and my modem is rebooting because I'm connecting on the 4G, and if I'm connected for a few days, the bandwidth speed drops. So I put the
Yes.
schedule on reboot every night when I'm sleeping.
right. Yes. There are things that the geeks in us try to automate things, and
Yeah.
we make assumptions, and sometimes those
And
assumptions don't pan out all the way.
Yeah.
So what's the last thing that you heard us saying?
Let's see. We were talking about the working with the leather worker, and I think we covered everything. I think it was me talking about how great it was working with folks in different categories, and how it was good to see you working with somebody who's working in leather. And I think I was asking about you working in not just leather, but also a non-leather material. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, we want to have a non-leather version as well.
Okay. Gotcha. And just so I can say that I am a completionist, we have
That's my
This one
cat.
too.
That's Lee. She's named after the late actor Brandon Lee because I love the movie
Aw.
The Crow. So that's who I named her after. Really sassy, really possessive cat, but I love her.
yeah.
Every time when I enter the room, she hisses on me. So
Yeah, they're still getting to know each other.
yeah.
Yeah. Fiona definitely prefers me, which if you're paying any attention, Fiona just
Yeah.
laid down on the back of the couch there. So let's see. We're getting to about the point where I remind everybody, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I've been like totally obsessing over the cats and everything, so I haven't been watching my my chat with George. So, there was a question. How important has social media connection been for you as a newer maker?
Well, for me, I think that I'm not sure if we covered this in the tech run before or here in the live, but I'm the person who writes the most of our posts, especially on Instagram. And I'm really trying to make a big emphasis on the educational value of everything and teaching people why having a body safe material is important. So that's kind of something that we are trying to give to the people who follow us, and that's something that we want them to kind of remember us by. And it's actually, well, it's not easy to build a community, because I think the algorithms or whatever are getting really, hard to get through. And if you're doing something like we are doing, you're getting censored all the time. So, sometimes I think we really, really have good ideas and good intentions and everything, but it just kind of flops because, we are not selling bags or something like that. But still,
Right.
we are really trying. Oh, okay. She's
Sorry.
migrating.
Distracted by the cat.
That's great.
Well, I think I mean, you kind of hit on something there. Is the algorithms and connecting with people and creating a community. And there was something you and I were talking about this during the pre-show, and we were talking about how what is Amavidi and the brand and how that has developed and is how do. I remember part of my answer, but I don't remember kind of the question that you asked, because there are kind of two parts of how I approach social media. There's kind of the brand, which is the appearance of it, which would be like the logo and the colors that we use, and the
Visual part.
the visual part of it, like the Dildo Talk splash screen, which is very retro 80s, and the music that we use. There's that. But then there's the personality. The personality of it is very much me. And it's when I make a post on Twitter or anything else, it's in my voice and it's not formal. It's like, it's me being excited about something. I post, I haven't done this in a while, but I was posting, what were they? The Japanese. What was it?
The cat haikus?
The haikus. Yeah, I was doing haikus about cats for a while there.
I remember that moment.
So it was like, it's just weird stuff sometimes. And it's like, I had this fascination with, can I write a haiku about cats and Patreon? And can I promote my Patreon through cats? And it's like, okay, well, let's see. It was just my personality coming through. And I think part of it is allowing people to connect with you and giving them something to latch onto. And yeah, logo is part of it, but those are the visuals. That's something that people can't connect with that.
That's true. I think especially when you're doing this, what I noticed is that people really like any sort of behind the scenes and pour videos. So they really like to see how things are made, even if they don't, understand every single step. They like to have something pretty to look at, or, just for it to be kind of dynamic and engaging. And also another aspect of the community is when we created our Twitter account, we didn't have it from the start. We really started seeing how large the collectors community is, and that's
Everybody's at Twitter.
Yeah, mostly they are US based, but I was really pleasantly surprised when I think one of my first tweets there was me asking about why do people prefer really soft silicones as opposed to kind of harder ones. And I think I also asked about maybe V-plugs or something like that. And that tweet got a lot of traction, and I got a lot of really thoughtful answers. And I was really surprised that, how much people actually care about this and how willing they are to discuss anything that goes into toy collecting, but also, being safe and knowing what you're using and why you enjoy the things that you enjoy. So I really kind of had a really nice welcome to Twitter.
Yeah, I think to get into the algorithm a bit, if you can get engagement, like conversations going, the algorithms love that. So the more that you can do that, the better. Yosh had a question, I think. Do you find the biggest hurdle is the education portion of the masses? It's kind of a weird way of putting it, but I guess one of the questions is, what do you find to be the biggest hurdle? Educating the masses, or what?
Maybe when it comes to local customers, maybe the biggest hurdle is education, or rather, getting the information out to them, mostly about body safe silicone and why it would be wiser to spend more money on a toy that is a custom pour made for you than on, a cheap toy from AliExpress that you don't know who made it or what kind of material it's made out of. So when it comes to local customers, yes, I think that's important. But a hurdle in a true sense, I think right now is all of the different social media platforms in themselves. And I think you also probably noticed these efforts to make everything more censored and kind of like, paying for stuff, which is starting to happen with Twitter Blue and things like that, which is kind of,
Today Twitter, tomorrow Facebook, Instagram, everything.
Yeah. Twitter is interesting. The recent changes that are limiting kind of how many tweets you can see. Yeah, that's insane to me. Threads, Meta coming out with Threads is interesting. 30 million users in less than 24 hours is pretty huge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but didn't Funk It, I don't know what was his name, Funk It Toys, he reported that no adult stuff there. I think he tweeted
probably-
a few days ago. about
Probably
that.
because it's tied to Instagram. So
Yeah.
you're probably going to be looking at the same kind of barriers there. So you might have to kind of play within those boundaries, but I'm sure we'll find a way. It might just be
Yeah, we
branding.
we can always find a way.
Yeah.
I think Instagram is maybe the most conservative of the, social media platforms. TikTok is really interesting because it just sucks you in and you kind of go crazy after a while. But I think it's a really, really good way to kind of make really dynamic content, at least. But I'm not sure if we are hitting, the right demographic with that. And I think TikTok shows your content a lot to people who are living in the same location as you or like nearby. So
Yeah.
that's another.
So we need to
to
fake
look
our
at.
location then.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
That'd be interesting. You might experiment with a VPN with TikTok.
Yeah.
VPN into the US for TikTok.
Yeah, and I have some.
Yeah.
I could try.
Now,
We'll report back.
I'm curious. There's a question about research, and I'm going to kind of fold a few questions in. There's a few questions, and I'm going to kind of fold them together and kind of make one big question, and you can answer it any way you want. When you're doing research, do you find that you have any issues with censorship as you're doing research? Because I don't know if you have any issues with censorship where you are. And do you have any issues with getting the information out? Do you find that you are running up against any barriers of censorship getting the information out? And then, since you're doing a lot of international business, do you have to change the way that you do things when you try to approach things going internationally? So many parts to
Well,
that.
our social media is in English only, including our website. That's a decision that we made going into this. At first I was really for having a Croatian website because I also wanted to be able to write educational content about these topics that nobody is really covering here in our own language. But then eventually we decided against that because we figured out that our customer base will probably be, not local, sadly. And I still want to do some sort of like educational website platform, whatever, that won't maybe be connected to Fab Toys. So it's not like we are making separate content in terms of like content for this country, content for that, or content in different languages. We're not really kind of paying attention to that. The messages that we send out are kind of uniform all around. And when it comes to doing research, we also do most of our research in English. And I think, that we are not really, I mean, as far as we are aware of, we didn't really face any censorship in the sense that...
there's no any kind of limitations here in Croatia by the government. So you can pirate the stuff, you can search anything, everything is okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you will get some letter from the government if you're connected over the university connection and you try to download something from the Pirate Bay, but in general, no.
Yeah.
Everything is open.
Yeah, the thing that is kind of shitty here is the bureaucracy that is tied to any form of business that you are trying to run. You always have to get one piece of paper from, a service that is open from, 10 a.m. to like
2 afternoon.
Yeah, and
they have a lunch break, an hour and a half in between, so...
Yeah, and then it gets really bizarre, and if you call, you want to ask for a piece of information, if you speak to 3 different people, you will get 3 different, pieces of advice. So.
Completely different answers from the same office.
Yeah, we can be in like a gray area a lot because of that,
Yeah.
Maybe not even willingly, but it just so happens that you can't really, make it work all the time.
Yeah, I have talked with several people on the Discord. One in Germany, one in a couple of different... Well, I gotta say one. I've talked to different people in different parts of Europe, and bureaucracy is a huge issue that they have had to deal with. So this is not something that I have ever... This is not something new to me. It seems to be something that's pretty common in Europe.
Yeah, especially in the Balkans.
Yeah, and I think Spain and Portugal are also notorious for having, that sluggish bureaucracy. It's, I think, different in states like Sweden, Norway, Finland. They are really kind of like miles ahead of us and doing everything online and digitally and keeping it that way. Here it's like, oh yes, we are going digital, but you still have to, turn in 5 different papers. So it's kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to remind you guys, if you have any questions for me, you're more than welcome to ask them. I'm always curious, what are you listening to in your studio?
Oh.
Well, he got brainwashed by me. I listened to a lot of Sisters of Mercy, so at some point he played a lot of that, and I'm the goth in this relationship, so that was really weird that he took that on, but I appreciate that. And
I'm in dark clothes.
Yeah, you're really kind of... You're keeping it real.
Like Superman.
No, I don't know. It's a mix. He likes to listen to more upbeat music like ska punk or something like that.
Ska punk, reggae, dub, electronics. Basically everything that is a bit crazy and a bit hypes you up, brings you up. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on the Sisters of Mercy. It's one of my go-tos.
Oh, amazing. We are seeing them in November. I'm really, really happy about
Oh.
that. I can't believe it.
You will get some live, some footage.
Yeah. We will send you stuff for sure.
And of course, one of my favorite questions. Tell me about an epic fail.
Epic fail. Well, I didn't mix part A with the part A yet,
Never?
but I did mix A30 dragon skin instead of EcoFlex 0030. Yeah. We were making grinders, so we have a grinder to clean up walls and stuff.
Yeah, it's rock solid.
Yeah. But it looks nice. It looks very nice.
Every detail is pronounced, which is really beautiful.
Oh, that's just
Yeah,
on the
we didn't
total
set
opposite
anything
end of the
on
spectrum.
fire.
Well, I didn't count all cure inhibition fails because that, well, it just happens from time
Yeah.
to time. I believe it happens to everybody.
Oh,
What?
compressor. Sorry, that's a bit of creation now.
Yeah.
But this is not strictly silicone related, but it was really
So,
funny.
I'm living in a building. I'm at the ground level, and it's very quiet here. So I keep everything in a separate room. So silicones, airbrushing and stuff. I have a boot. And two nights ago, around midnight, the air compressor just started working, and I think it wake up the whole building. Just in the middle of nothing. We were watching a movie. It was quiet, nice, summer night, and it just went off.
Yeah.
And it's loud,
And
like hell.
It was so funny because he was trying to get up and run and turn it off, and I just really couldn't be bothered. I just kind of like looked at him, and I thought it was hilarious. But
So was it a
didn't really-
ghost or was it a cat?
No, it was a
It
Gregor.
was him.
It was a Gregor. I forgot to turn it off in afternoon. Well, it happens,
Okay.
Well, no neighbor complained, so I think
Yeah.
we are okay with that.
Well, we talked about Tesla earlier. A little bit of an
Yes.
inspiration for you. But what about artists? What artists do you draw from? What artists are your inspiration?
Did we draw from a specific artist so far?
No.
I don't think so. The tentacle shape that was okay. The tentacle shape was, well, not inspired by, but after we took photos of it, I saw that it really looks like the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland, the Disney version, and I just can't get that image out of my head. So for me, that's hilarious. But I didn't set out to make it that way, it just happened. But no, we haven't really found like an artist that we would kind of like draw from. There were some really cool designs from other makers. For example, I remember early on that I found this German maker who isn't, I think, even active on social media, and he has a toy that it looks like it was made out of pixels. So it's really, like a heavily pixelated toy, and it looks really cool.
Wow, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I was flipping through my notes one day this week, and I found one of my notes. It was to make a toy out of balls. It would just be like, maybe 5mm balls, and it would just be like stacked balls.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
That was in one of my notes. I don't know if I'll ever get around to making it, but it was, yeah.
You can get all those neodymium magnets,
Right.
ball magnets, make a sculpture, then cast it.
Or, well, I mean, you could take a shape and just fill it with your 3D modeling software. You can just take a shape and fill it with your, whatever you can fill the volume with.
That's the easy way.
Yeah, that's the easy way.
Do you have any projects going on, like any new designs that you are working on? Not that they are in the idea phase, but you're really working on them? Or are you taking it slow right now?
Oh, I want to say yes, but my shop is in flux right now. I'm at that point where I had to move my studio, and so everything got packed up, and I want to say that there's like 2 things I was working on, but I can't remember what they are now.
Do you remember where they are?
No.
Damn.
I can't.
Your face right now is priceless.
I'm like, my brain is just like mush. The last 6 months have just been like this blur, and things like my brain is just like melted out of my ears. I couldn't tell you how many IQ points I've lost over the last 6 months. I am much dumber than I used to be. Okay. Actually, this is a question I found this week. I liked it. If you had a magic wand and you could do anything you want, what would you do?
In terms of silicone?
You can answer it any way you want.
Oh, it has to have something to do with cats, for sure.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
cats are
I
important.
I want to adopt all cats. Yeah. I want to be a cat mom. Like Wonderland.
Yeah, like a huge mansion for cats.
Only.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to sound boring, but having a wand that would secure everybody that I have that I care about to have like a place to live, that would be really nice. Like really, adult wishes. I don't wish for anything fancy right now.
And in the terms of silicone, we really need a Smoothon or Polytech factory here nearby somewhere, maybe in the neighborhood.
100 gallons of silicone.
Yeah, thank you, please.
However much that is in liters, we will take anything.
George, can you convert?
That would be 400 liters.
Oh, nice. Okay, that sounds good.
Because there are 4 quarts in a gallon, and there's about a liter per quart. So, yeah. Freedom units.
Yes.
Remember, freedom units all the way.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to give Yosh the last question, because this is actually a really good one, and I'm going to modify it slightly. Aside from me and Shop Dad, who else in the community would you want to learn from?
Ooh, that's a good one. I really love Faux Fellas. He's from Australia.
Oh, yeah,
he makes beautiful botanical designs, and I really like flowers. So for me, when I see whatever they make, I just really love everything, and I really, I just really admire them because their stuff is so pretty. So anything that is kind of botanical, flower based, I really like that, but I would have to become a much better 3D modeling person to kind of pull that off. So for now, I'm just watching and kind of getting inspired. And Gregor probably has a list of people he would love to learn from.
Yeah. I don't want to go public with the list because maybe somebody will get angry. Yeah, I'm a bit geeky part of this factory, so geeks in heart.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to let you get to bed because it is now 3:30 where you are.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hang out for a few minutes. Wave goodnight to everybody. Stick around, and you and I will
Good night.
do our
Good
wrap
night
up.
to the
Bye-bye.
people. Good
Yeah,
night to the
yeah.
cat. To
Good night,
everybody.
good morning, everything.
Bye, George.
All right, everybody. That was Selena and Gregor from Fab Toys. And we are out. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.